ranking.
Close.
Why would I pick?
Nick's already dumped.
Why would I pick? This is Danny Parkins' problem, everybody. Tune in to First Things First Overtime, about 35 minutes. I'll tell you this much. Maybe I should say. I watched football yesterday at Danny's beautiful house up in your neck of the woods, up in Schenectady or wherever you guys live. And he was in shambles. And I was like, man, must be rough being the Caleb guy on the show. Couldn't be me. Here's what I would say. So the numbers are the numbers, and we can show them to you. They're not good. And that's his ranks for the season. Now, Brew does know I do like yards per attempt. That's one of my favorite quarterback stats, and he is top 10 in that. Here's the real problem, though. And this is not fair. But if you remove one game, those are his numbers. And that's just the
just lighting up.
Yeah, if you just remove lighting up the Cowboys, which, you know, if I'm going to be fair, we're going to talk about Bo Nix in a bit. I'm not putting a ton of stock into Bo Nix lighting up the Cowboys, so fair is fair. And speaking of Bo Nix, and here is what is bad narratively. This would not be my rankings. But if Fox Sports or The Athletic or whomever did we're going to redraft the quarterbacks from 2 years ago.
Oh, Drake's in Chicago.
I think this would be the majority opinion. Drake May, first quarterback taken. Jaden Daniels, second quarterback taken. And I think everyone would have one of those two guys first. Like, it'd be 1, 2, 2, 1, those two. Sure. And right now, this moment, I disagree with this, but I think the majority opinion would be Bo Nix 3.
I don't think that's controversial.
No.
At all.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think the majority opinion would have that. And then Caleb 4. I don't agree with Brew that the Ravens defense is just all of a sudden fixed. I think that was a brutal performance in a big spot for Caleb.
Yeah, I said this a while ago, but Coach, to me, he looks like a great athlete trying to play quarterback. And I know he was phenomenal, obviously, through high school and college. But it never looks easy. Even when he makes a great play, it just doesn't look smooth. Like, I'm not even going to say the great quarterbacks. Like most quarterbacks. With Caleb, we talk about things you don't talk about with other quarterbacks, the operation, getting rid of the ball and stuff like that.
Hitting open guys.
Yeah, it's just like, and so that's what stuns me. Like, even when it's going good for him, it still looks difficult. And so it'll be interesting, he and Ben Johnson, and I'm not suggesting they're making a quarterback change. I don't see that anytime soon. But they obviously like the backup. I mean, they gave him, the $10 million deal. And I think Ben Johnson wants a guy that's on time.
But Ben Johnson took the job to work with Caleb.
Right, which I get. And look, maybe, there is improvement. I'm not writing him off. I may be writing him off as a star, but.
Yeah, I do not want to be overly loved by Nick. The prince that was promised, discarded.
Caleb
Williams on Mahomes Mountain, discarded.
If the playoffs started today,
he drops them quickly.
Throws those dudes out.
Yes, absolutely.
Now, the Bears were just on a 4-game winning streak, right?
Yeah.
Last time that happened was 2018. He is the quarterback of the team.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's some progress there. He's been sacked half as many times, or 50% less than he was the year before. That's real progress. On the pick that they showed, the wide receiver's running an in cut, and he runs it up the field instead of shaving it down, so he allows the defensive back to undercut him. So yeah, that's a Caleb issue, but the wide receiver doesn't do a very good job of doing his technique either, and allows the defensive back to undercut it, which shouldn't happen. So he should take some accountability for that too. So is it perfect? No, but there's been some good things with this team overall, and the idea of throwing it away, he's in with a new head coach, a new coordinator, a new system, and there's been some positives. So to write him off at this point, and Drake May's had a pretty big bonus here by getting who he got paired up with this year too. I don't know if we would have had that same draft reshuffling where he's ahead of Jaden Daniels. Come on now.
Well,
Okay, let's talk about this. So I think Mangini's take is actually really spot on. Less so about the win streak because I don't care about that type of stuff. I don't ever really care about streaks. It's like, is it really that different if you win 6 games in a row or if you win 3 games, lose a game, and then win 3 games, right? Like, so streaks don't matter to me. But I said this going into this season about Caleb Williams, that to me, this is year one. This is year one for him, because last year was such a mess and there was zero room for him to develop. There was just zero infrastructure for him to develop and grow and evolve as a quarterback. And in year one with Ben Johnson, it's already a stark difference. Even if some of the numbers aren't perfectly showing that, it's like, it doesn't matter to me. I just care about what I see in that regard. And it's clearly an improvement. Now, Ben Johnson deserves massive amount of credit for all of that. And, the wins and the success that this team has had, Ben Johnson, I do think, deserves the lion's share of the credit. That's how coaching works to me. And I've made no secret about it that I think that Caleb Williams right now is technically holding back this offense. And I keep trying to emphasize, and that is okay. That is okay. It is year one with Ben Johnson. I expect him to be a somewhat limiting factor a little bit. And again, it's okay. It's going to be okay. The panic time, putting him, in this sense that his career is over, that it's just, as JCT put it, bust watch, like, just not how I see it right now. And, it's funny because it's why I said, and it was a tough take to have when Caleb and the Bears had, big wins, whether it was against the Commanders or against the Cowboys. And I was like, yeah, there were some good plays, some good moments, but like, I wasn't as impressed. I wasn't boosting that up, right, as some big thing. And this is as coming from someone who's continuing to defend Caleb through stats like this and the lows like this. And it's just always trying to have a grounded conversation and not just swinging from one side to the next, where he plays pretty good against the Cowboys with stats that were, awesome. And it's just like, see, he's amazing. He's arrived. That's right. He's the best, blah, 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 blah. And then he has kind of a rough game and it's like, it's time to panic, right? Like you can't keep swinging from extreme to extreme. It is fair to say that some of these other quarterbacks seem to be more settled, whether it's Jaden Daniels, whether it's Drake May now. And like Drake May, you could say, has had the most similar situation to Caleb Williams in terms of getting drafted to a team that was a messy coaching staff on both sides of the ball. They get fired, you bring in a new coaching staff, and Drake May is getting it at a faster rate. And that's okay. You don't have to be constantly compared to your draft class. And I've said this many times, like, I don't care about that. Because like Nick went on a whole thing where he's like, if they were to redraft this order, and my immediate thought is, who cares? I don't care. That's just me personally. I don't continue to look at quarterbacks through a draft class. Like, I think it could be from a narrative standpoint and could be a little fun, comparing Jaden to Caleb and, 1-2 pick and like, having them battle like they are tied together a little bit more early on in their careers right now, because there's just less of a narrative to build up right now. Does it really matter where Josh Allen was drafted or Lamar Jackson was drafted or where Patrick Mahomes was drafted? Like no one really, you're not really talking about that in these games right now. We do that a little bit right now because it's so early on in their careers. And so it kind of it's another narrative to layer on to the storylines. And so I get it, but like, it just doesn't mean a whole lot to me, honestly. And I do think patience is needed for Caleb Williams, but I do think it's also fair to be concerned or frustrated or irritated a little bit. I still urge patience, as firmly and as loudly as I can. But it's hard to not look over at, say, like a Drake May or see what Jaden Daniels did last year and just be like, those quarterbacks do seem to be connecting these dots a lot smoother and a lot quicker than Caleb is doing right now. And this is where you have to have the faith in the coaching staff around Caleb, whether it's Ben Johnson, quarterback coach, anyone else that Caleb goes to for, mechanics and, whatever it may be, working with Palmer, like, there's plenty of options for these guys. Like, you have to trust that he's willing to put in the work that he wants to be better, that he wants to grow, that he wants to evolve, that he is all in, dedicated to this. Because to me, watching the season, it's clear Ben Johnson is the coach. That Ben Johnson is exactly as advertised. Like, he has that offense ready to pop. You just need your quarterback to be unlocked. Once that happens, you are hanging 30-plus points a game. Like, it is all there for you, and you just want to start to see it sooner rather than later. I am on the record before the season started that there's a great chance that the way how you optimize Ben Johnson is by having a quarterback who's like, who is really just all about timing and rhythm and executing the offense, like a Brock Purdy, that even though Brock Purdy might not be unable to do some of the off script and what stuff, type of stuff as a Caleb Williams, that you're better off with, say, like a Brock Purdy, specifically with Ben Johnson, as we saw him succeed at such a high level with Jared Goff. But to really take it to the next level, ideally, is to get the Andy Reid Mahomes effect, where you have a quarterback who can do both, where you have a coach who can set up all of those plays to really maximize the offense. And when you need your quarterback to take it where the coach leaves off, you can do that, right? That's what ultimately will make you the most resilient and the most powerful combination that you can have. So it'll just to me, it's just still a kind of a wait and see. I put them on a 2-year timeline. You obviously have this season, because I don't think he's going to get benched, and then you have the next season, and then I'm telling you right now, it's just, Ben Johnson took this job, but Caleb Williams is not is not who Ben Johnson drafted, and I do think at this point in time, Ben Johnson has way more power. Ben Johnson was brought in to coach the Chicago Bears, not Caleb Williams. I know in a lot of ways it's one of the same, but it's just the way I look at it. They're not going to fire Ben Johnson, say, you couldn't get the best out of Caleb, we need another coach. They're going to say, hey, do we draft another quarterback? What do we do here? That's the way how I think they're going to look at it more than anything. I really, really, really do believe that. And so I look at it like you have the rest of this year to continue to grow, to continue to evolve, to continue to improve. And then, of course, by the next year, then it really is like you got to hit the ground running. You got to be special. You got to be great. You got to really start to show that you are, that you're ready, that you're here, that it's time. But I still give him the rest of the season to still have off games, to still be a little inaccurate, to still miss some plays, to miss some throws, etc., etc., etc. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Chicago Bears and Caleb Williams? Is it officially time to panic for Caleb? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions, let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.